Hello, everyone, and welcome to Banya Chat. My name is Thomas Barnes, and today we are here with our wonderfully experienced foster carers, Gloria and Natasha, and they have a wonderful story to tell us, based more about their experience long-term fostering. Um, how are you today?
Hi
We're
there,
both
Tom. We're
fine.
good. Hi, Facebook Live.
Good afternoon.
Lovely. So how you're doing well today? Good, good, good,
We
good.
are.
Yeah. So what would you like to tell us your story, please?
Okay. So we've been a tag team fostering, well, this is a trio actually.
For the past 11
Yeah.
years.
Past 11 years, definitely a tag team. My mum started fostering first, didn't you?
Yes.
So this is Gloria. So
yeah.
just so we know who is who, and Natasha, don't know.
Yes, I've started fostering 11 years ago. While I was doing that, my daughter decided to join in as well. So we both work together as a team. So we're both a qualified foster carer, working alongside with Banya. It has been a pleasure working with Banya.
Yes, it has indeed.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't at first a fully fledged foster carer. I just was supporting my mum, as she said. And I recently, in the past 6 years, I've decided to come on board and be a foster carer. So yeah. We have had long-term placements. We've had all different types of placements.
Yeah, we've had about 12 children.
But maybe more.
12 children.
Yeah, I think
13 children.
Yeah,
12 or 13 placements.
we've had a variety of different types of places. We've tried all sorts. We've tried mother and baby. We've had a placement that lasted about 2 minutes.
Really?
Which is about the shortest term ever. It's just been literally a box of chocolates, because it just comes in so many different forms, and actually been such a wonderful experience. Our long-term placement, the girls have been with us 10 years.
10
it will be
years.
in January.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's been amazing. I mean, to be honest, it was the other day I was speaking to my SSW, and she was like, "Well, you've had the girls for this long." I was like, "What?" So yeah, it's been, and they are just part of the family now, as you can imagine.
Yeah, they're a part of the family. I mean, we don't see them as foster children. I class them as my grandchildren.
Yes.
Because they're part of the family wherever we go.
Absolutely.
So everybody just see them as the grandchildren, Glory grandchildren.
Yeah, and probably my children.
And Natasha's children as well.
So that's all right.
And they are Giovanna sisters. So we're just like a family team.
Yeah. So my daughter, Giovanna, she also, has been amazing. I mean, from when she was little, she used to help support us with any children that came in. We did used to look after lots of children with disabilities. That's what we did. When we initially started. One of our girls, she is actually deaf as well. So, sign language and things like that. We've had to learn all of those things over the years. But I definitely did, because when she was 6, she turned around and said to us, "You don't care about me because you don't know how to sign." And I went, "Oh my gosh, we better learn how to do sign language." So we did. So yeah, and she makes sure that we still learn and practice all the time.
We go along.
Yeah, especially alphabet. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, that's wonderful. That you're doing an amazing job. Then 10 years, wow. Like, so what got you first interested in fostering? Like, what was the initial thought? Oh, I want to foster. I mean, I'm guessing your inspiration, Natasha, was your mum.
Well, yes and yes, because my mother was always in the caring field, but she had a friend who used to make our flamboyant curtains. And as a child, I used to visit her house, and with my mum, And there was always like
Those
an array of
6 children in the house running around.
different
so
children
happily.
from different creeds, different backgrounds. And I was always stumped because I was like, what is going on in this house? You know, and I just always wanted to kind of be there, but obviously couldn't. And I just said to my mum, what does she do? And they went, no, dear, you go to university and you know, do everything. Don't worry about what we do here. And I was like, no, I'm really intrigued. Anyway, I was probably about 16 when they said to me, look, we foster.
We do foster.
And I went, right, okay, this is okay. And it's just stuck with me, really, because the children, no matter what time you went there, they were always happy. The garden, running around, you know, just, and I thought this is the most beautiful thing. And I really had a different level of respect for that lady. And she actually was a Banya carer. So, yeah.
So that's how we started.
Really?
That was his major inspiration. Yeah.
Yeah, so you got it from growing up with it, really, from an early age.
Yeah.
And now you foster yourselves, and like you've had many placements. Like you said, you had 12 individual placements.
12, to be fair. Yeah.
12 plus. Wow, that's amazing. And they're all different types. You've had a mother and baby, you said. We discussed that last week with Natasha.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we discussed what that was, and this week we're discussing yourselves with long term.
Yeah.
So what kind of experiences have you got with that?
Well, with long term, what ends up happening is, I mean, in our situation, I guess it's slightly unique because we've been luckily enough been able to build a bond with the family as well.
Very close.
Yeah. So because of that, you extend your family as well. And I know I've said that before. So the birth mother of the children, we have a brilliant rapport with, you know, it doesn't always happen, you know, but you do hope that it can happen, just so that the fostering can feel a little bit more successul, you know.
It works well for us in that way.
Yeah, I find it's more sustainable. I'm not saying that it's not if you can't have the relationship with the birth parents, but when you do, it's a different type of thing that happens. I think more for the children, because it's almost like it's a handshake from mummy to, you know, to the carers, like mummy's okay with this and mummy gets on with them and mummy, you know, so that's really been a strong element in the success of our long-term fostering.
And it works for us.
Yeah, so like it's like that thing. If the child sees the parent being trusting this person, and the child feels like they can trust that person too.
Absolutely.
And especially with a long-term placement, you really want to have that trust, don't you? And that takes time to build, I'm guessing.
It's a hard thing to build, and very easy to break, though.
As it with anything.
It's a fragile thing, but you know what? It can be rebuilt, and that, I guess, is the main thing, really.
So how did you start off with foster? Did you start off? How does it transfer into long term? Did you start off as short term placements and then go into long term, or was it immediately straight off the bat going to be a long term placement?
I think with the girls, we knew that it was going to be
a long term.
I mean, they had been to at least six
other carers before they came to us.
Yes, so we looked at each other and said, look, we can't
let them move around anymore, because we were their seventh carer.
Yeah, seventh.
Yeah.
And we thought this is really unfair, you know, for two young children to go through, no matter what. So whatever was thrown at us, we dealt with, to be honest with you. It wasn't easy.
It wasn't easy. It was very challenging.
But you know what?
But we work along
at the end of the day, you wipe your brow and you say, I've done it, you know. So, and you keep doing it, you know. So yeah. Yeah. We did have it, yes. We had
a breakdown.
2 years ago.
2 years for about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And they couldn't cope where they were. They begged to come back.
And we couldn't cope where we were.
And we couldn't cope because we miss them so much, because they're just like a part of the family.
Absolutely.
You know, it's like 2 of the grandchildren had disappeared.
Yeah.
You know, so after 6 weeks, they were back.
Yeah.
And so far, we're still working on it.
Mm-hmm.
We have your ups and downs at times.
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter what happened, you will
But
have
what
that.
goes down must come up.
That's it. So
Yeah.
we've been working positive so far, doing well, get all the support from Banya when we need it. Banya support us very well.
Yeah.
So we really appreciate that as well.
Yeah, that helps massively.
And that helps a lot.
Yeah. Banya supported you the entire way then, haven't they?
Any problem, we go to
with
Banya.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
The good,
It doesn't
the bad,
matter
and the
what.
ugly. We go to Banya and we get the support.
Yeah.
And we really appreciate that.
Yeah.
You've clearly done an amazing job. I mean, like you said, you've gone through the thick and thin of it, haven't you? Like, and you, even though you had that placement, you said you had that placement breakdown, you got through it and you came out the other side. It's stronger, I'm betting.
Stronger. It's still weaknesses, Tom, and I will be honest, but you know what? We hold together, we carry on, we're open. I think the thing is, if you as a carer can be quite open about what's happening for you and the children, that's the best way to deal with everything. There's no point in thing because this is real life. It's real life. So it's important for us to highlight when there are difficulties, and that helps with longevity.
Yeah, and you made that decision right from the get-go that this is going to be their long-term placement, because I'm guessing you said moving from home to home, it's giving them that stability in their life that they need.
Absolutely.
And then from there, you've obviously seen them grow and mature as people.
Yeah, they're young ladies now. Yeah. I mean, when they came into the house, we'd made a decision. Our house was only a 3-bedroom at the time. And we made a decision, right, we're going to make the house bigger. I gave my bedroom up just to be able to take them in, but knowing we were going to do a project to give the girls enough space to have their own space. So that was, and that was a huge decision, wasn't it?
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
So you've obviously put a lot of dedication. You're obviously very dedicated to this and very dedicated to them. To sacrifice like your own bedroom, to extend your entire home and invest really.
Yeah.
And you've obviously get the payback, the rewards of it as well.
The payback is that they're growing. I mean, one's more boisterous than the other, but she's always been that way. But you know what? Love prevails, and that's all I can say. And that is when you feel like, do you know what?
I've done an accomplished.
They're doing well. They're doing okay. They're not, causing havoc on the roads, and they're not. It might get a little bit of a cheeky bit of here and there and whatever, but they are not. If I say, you've got to be home by a certain time, they're doing that.
They're quite homely child.
They're very homely.
Very homely.
Yes.
Like to be at home.
Yes, So I mean, for me, it's an achievement already. And it's a huge payoff to show that there must be something right going on.
That we'll be doing.
And long term is very much better than short term, would you say, or is there a difference between
young people? Absolutely, Tom, you are correct. I mean, I know you're asking it almost as a question, but I know that long term is definitely better
because they're in a stable home and they know it's their home.
Yes, absolutely. And that's what anybody needs. I mean, children, young people, adults, we all need some stability. So if you can do that,
it's great.
It is. It's phenomenal. Yeah.
So I'm guessing, did you have to go through any particular steps towards becoming being long-term foster carers? Because you said you started off, Natasha, as a support carer, supporting your mum. What, did you have any training?
Younger at the time,
and they said, "Oh, you're a bit young. I don't know if you can foster, but you can support your mum."
Yeah.
And I thought, right, got to prove myself. Yeah. So I did exactly that, and we decided, a few years ago, as I said,
to become a carer. And she's fantastic. Yes. Great.
And I've since then started a master's in therapeutic fostering and adoption.
Oh, wow.
At the moment, I'm just supposed to be finishing off at the minute, but what with coronavirus, it's been a little bit difficult and testing for me to complete, but I will get that done. So yeah, I'm at the end of that at the minute, and I've written about all my fostering experiences in my essays and things like that. So, and I've drawn so much modules and therapeutic information that it can assist myself and the young people as well in the placement. So it's been marvelous.
Yeah. So that not only gives you a platform, you've used your experience as a foster carer for your education, and also your education as a foster to help you as a foster carer as well. So it helps each other.
It does indeed, and it also helps to fill up the.
Yeah, I bet it does.
It does indeed. I got you there, didn't I? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what I like to call it, because I think we do need different types of ways to work with all different types of young people. Everyone's got different needs, Yeah. So if this doesn't work for them, it might work for
somebody else.
Yeah.
Very challenging at times.
It's important to have as much knowledge as possible, and anything I kind of learn, I'll share and divulge with the rest of the family. So, and vice versa as well. Yeah.
So it's all about like learning experiences and sharing them so that you can teach and grow and become better. Well, I say carers, but you're like a family parenting.
I mean, Banya have awesome training, and actually, I have to say, throughout coronavirus, it's gotten even more excitable and exciting. And what's been nice, as much as I never really thought it would be as nice doing it from home, but as a family, we can sit down and kind of take it all in together, and then it's even more of a better conversational piece, and yeah.
Yeah, so I love your attitude towards this. Like you've taken the situation and you've turned it into a positive, and you've got to do that in these times, don't you?
You do indeed.
You said it's not all positive. It has ups and downs.
Yes.
Yeah, and you said Banya supported you the entire way.
Absolutely.
All the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like you said that I don't want to divulge here, but like I'm guessing that like you have a very good relationship with you said the biological parents of your placements, and unfortunately some placements don't have that. Like, was that like is that need? Would you prefer that then?
Well, we've had experiences with not having the best relationship with and actually it hasn't really worked. But then we can't say that it wouldn't work anywhere, because I've heard of situations where they haven't even had a conversation with the birth parents, and it's been the best placement. So it just depends, on
the carer,
the whole elements of the situation, and the child, because it's a lot on the child anyway, as we know. So it's just it's a ball of emotions, let's say, if they're not seeing their birth families and things like that. So that's a major thing, already in itself. So
yeah, I mean, I can say from personal experience, because I have been through short-term placement, and I went through a long-term placement, and my long-term placement didn't really have much contact with my birth family at all. But I learned to trust my placement, and they always wanted what's best for me.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm guessing you obviously want the same.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. That is, I think that is at the forefront of anything, is that what's best and what's right for the child. And then that makes you feel like you're actually doing something,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank everyone for watching. But we've actually got some questions. We've got a few questions for you. Would you like first of all is what experiences have you had that have helped you learn?
Oh my goodness, have we got all day? I think the key ones is just having the real experiences, which are the ones that, you know, when things go wrong for you, you can sometimes take that on as a carer because you want to just help everyone, don't you? So when things go wrong and the placement has to end, and I think that's my biggest thing, is because the last thing you ever want to do is end a placement, being a therapeutic foster carer. That's the last thing you want to do. But when it does have to come to that, it's like, oh my goodness, it's
it's a big breakdown for the carer as well as the child.
Yes, you go through a lot of different
emotion. You do,
you know, when that happens, and I think that's where I take a lot of my learning from. I don't know how you feel about that, man.
I feel the same way.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that almost answers the second question as well, which was, how do you feel when a placement comes to an end?
Yeah.
Very sad.
Can you hear the violins? It is. It's very sad.
It's very sad.
I don't know if you ever get over that, to be honest with you. Yeah. I don't think you ever do. Well, I know we don't, because we still talk about any placement that's come to that type
one
of
that
end.
come to an end, and it's still affecting me.
There's two in particular for me.
Very much.
Yeah, there's two in particular for me.
Emotionally, I mean, sometimes I don't sleep because I keep thinking about him.
Yeah.
And I would break down and cry.
Yeah.
But there was nothing we could do. It had to come to an end.
Yeah.
And until now, it's affecting me.
Of course, I know it does, because you do worry about every child that's coming to you, and he's not settled at the moment still. So it does affect us. And we try to keep in touch with everybody. So this is where our work. It's not just that work in the house. We still stay in touch with everybody and make sure, you know, just try and make sure that life is giving them the best that it possibly can, which is not always the way, but we still try to keep that connection with them, which is separate work from being a foster carer.
So it does affect,
you know, it's something totally different.
I mean, carrying on the connection, really, because it is a connection after a placement ends, is showing how much you actually care about them after being so involved with them and knowing so much about them. You can't just lose it, and you're going to remember it, aren't you? It's losing a family member.
Absolutely. Now you're talking, Tom. That's exactly what it is.
It's like a bereavement for me.
Yeah, because you've lost.
Because I've lost that placement, and right now it's a bereavement for me at this moment.
And you said you had 12. You said you had 12 or over 12 placements. So you've obviously must have gone through that more than multiple times.
Yeah, I don't think it's just us. I think also the girls, because remember, there are long-term placements. So any child that comes in just becomes part of their family as well. And they feel it too. And it's important for me to keep their kind of connections with these children as well, which is something that we do. And, you know, they're always open to that, which is really lovely. We're quite gifted with the girls, to be honest, because we're quite gifted with the girls because they have real connections with children, you know, and all we can do is just celebrate that, really.
And showing that you keeping the connection with previous placements proves to them that even after, if they eventually move out and have their own life, just still going to be involved with them.
They can still like that. That's true, actually. I didn't really view it like that, but you are right.
Yeah, we still visit them.
Yeah, we would. They'd still be coming over on a Sunday. The good old rice and peas.
And cook for them.
Oh, yummy. A nice cup of tea.
Absolutely, and a slice of cake.
Catch up.
Ice cake.
Yeah, but like you said, like sometimes the placements just aren't right, but you want the best for them
Most
in the
definitely.
end, don't you? You always want the best for them.
Yeah,
Of course.
and that's any placement with any carer, because obviously we keep it tight knit with some of the other foster carers as well. And if they're going for anything with their long-term placements, we all kind of offer support to each other, as well as obviously having our wonderful SSW. But you know, it's important for us to all tie together, because these children, these are their lives, you know, these are their lives, and they didn't choose any of this. You know, it's been put into them, and you know, so that is another thing that just keeps you fighting another day.
Yeah. So like you said how much Banya supported you. Could you give us some like examples of like the support that Banya's given you?
Yeah, I mean, if we wave the flag and say, look, guys, we need a bit of a break. I think the children are sick of us, and you know, whatever, we need something. They would actually say, you know what, we'll get something in place. We'll look for, you know, some respite carers or whatever to help with that. And what's nice as well at Banya is, as a family, we know each other. And when we go on our trips, I know we didn't get to do it this year, but we have done over the years, we get to see other carers, and the children also know them too. So if they're going to go to anyone for respite, it's generally a carer that they know. So it's like, again, just going over to an auntie's house. Do you know what I mean?
Sleep overnight. It's like a sleepover.
Yeah, so that,
not a respite.
Yes, and that I love, you know, I really like that.
So it's like a full-on like family. You got your aunts, your uncles, and
Absolutely.
like a foster carers. So instead of like going to some other strange foster carer's house for a respite, it's someone that you know and someone that they can trust and feel more comfortable with.
Yeah, like my sister, she's a carer for Banya.
Yeah, we pulled her over. And she was at another fostering agency, which we won't mention, but she pulled her over, and she, you know, obviously knows the children really well,
and they knows her very well. So they can go to her for respite. So it wouldn't be like a respite for the children. They go into auntie for sleepover.
Absolutely.
So that's how it looks all the time.
Yeah, it's more like a regular family.
Absolutely.
When parents need a break from their child, which I'm sure most parents have to at some point,
especially over the corona.
They just drop them off at grandma's, drop them off at their sisters, brothers, and and then when you come back, you feel refreshed, and you get to carry on and
each other.
You said they ran you through the hard times, and I bet you that helped you grow as a person and develop yourself. Yeah. Oh wow! Like you sound like you all are an amazing foster placement.
Oh, thank you.
I'd love to meet everyone.
Oh, bless you.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Wow, you're doing an incredible job.
That's amazing. Thank you. That means a lot hearing that from you, Tom.
Yeah, wow. I went through it, so I know I kind of know what's a good placement and what's not so good. So, like, you are definitely one of the best. Well, I say bad ones, but I don't think if you're a foster carer, it's not really a bad thing about that at all.
No, I think the thing is, you must do it with love. Love has to be involved.
Yes, you have to love. You have to be willing to love.
Yes, yeah, and loving anything really. It doesn't matter what's written on the paperwork. You know, just try not to be. You know, because if you were going to read all paperwork and let that affect you, take no placements. Yeah. You know, so I like to
every
you know,
yeah. And I'm guessing that what you read on the paperwork when you applied to be foster carers is different from how you view it now.
Oh yes, absolutely. But that's why you can't really
go by the
book. You can't go by the book.
Sometimes you just have to give them a chance.
Yes, yeah.
In person and take it from there.
Absolutely.
Not by the paperwork.
Yeah. I mean, we had a shorter long-term placement with one, and on the paperwork he had just smashed up the local authority's office and, you know, broken all their computers and everything. And I thought, oh my word, you know, if we started, you know, putting everything away, you know, in the house when he was en route. And all he asked me for was a sandwich when he came in. And
they were shocked.
When he had the sandwich, he was very calm, cool, collected. He wanted to watch Rory, you know, the racing car. Rory, he was obsessed with it. And, you know, he was the coolest child. I was just like, wow, you know, so you just never know.
And local authority couldn't understand because their whole office was smashed up because of him. All the computer gone, the phone is gone, the chairs.
You know? But yeah.
You know, so if we had really taken that paperwork, we wouldn't have him. And he was so lovely when he came.
He was. I think we had him for about 2 years, didn't we?
Having him, and we had him for 2 years.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. So, like, I guess that just proved, like, when you become a foster carer, you can't judge what you read. You can't judge the person by what's written down.
That's very important.
I'm guessing you've had to learn a lot of things along the way, things like that.
Yes, we have. We have, because I think one or two of, and that's why it's good to talk as carers sometimes. One or two of the carers have said, you know, and if you saw the paperwork, you know, they would say, but you know, but you know, the child is actually okay. So sometimes when you hear that from another foster carer, that gives you the right kind of push in that direction to say, yeah, you know, okay, well, she's tried it and actually it worked fine. You know, it worked well. So, you know,
you can only give it a chance sometime. If it doesn't work, there's another stage to take.
Yeah, I think that on my paperwork, which was gosh, this is going back now, 13 years ago now. So I was fostered way before you became foster carers.
Oh wow. Considering it at the time.
I was put into care when I was 7, but I only came to my current my long-term placement when I was 9. But I think on my paperwork it said that I was a lovely, sweet boy.
Okay.
A bit of a nightmare growing up, but you know, I learned.
Well, as I said,
you know,
paperwork.
Yeah. But no, it's not, most of the time it's not. Most of the time it's the opposite like that. It looks bad on the paperwork, but it's not as. Once you learn the person, you understand them. It's different, isn't it?
No, absolutely. And like I already said, this wasn't the life that when children are born, they don't expect to be thrown into this type of thing, do they? I mean, it's supposed to be, you know, you're born and, you know, you're with your family and so when there's an adjustment, is what I call it, you know, you just, whoever's around you as the adults have to just try and do their actual best to make it at least a good growing experience, or at least a happy childhood, or, you know, that's all you can really do, you know?
Yeah. You just got to show that unconditional love, isn't it?
You've got to give the love.
To give the love,
yeah. Well, it has been lovely talking to you, and lovely hearing about your experiences and how you've grown up with placements. Now you've looked after them. You've done an incredible job, and I can't but thank you and have full respect for everything you've done.
Oh, thank you.
It's been lovely chatting to you, and thank you everyone for watching, and thank you for all your questions. We'll be back next week.
Okay, no problem.
Bye, Tom. Bye, everyone.